Hello. I'm going to get on a discussion about illusionary bullshit and how it's not very convincing. Um, Once you know reality, good enough, right? I've mentioned this before. I've mentioned this before. I mentioned this before. I've mentioned this before. That's an illusion, right? Yeah, it might be. So yeah, I want to mention illusionary bullshit. And I guess that's a general subject on illusions. The illusions of reality. Illusions of perception, illusions of what you perceive to be more, illusions of delusion, how we perceive reality. If you're an ignorant one, if you're not really if you're not seeing through the projection that's being cast upon the wall, and you feel like the projection could be touched, and you can actually walk inside of it, even though it's just a kind of a wall you can knock on, and there's nothing beyond. It's sort of like looking at a computer monitor, and it's, you can look around it. It's just a projection on the front of the screen. There's nothing more. You look around it, and it's just a flat surface on the side. It doesn't. There's nothing. It's just a wall behind the. It's just a wall behind the monitor or the screen, and there's nothing beyond it. It's about looking beyond illusions and not seeing it as something that's on the wall that you can touch, or in midair, like in hologram or whatever. It's something that you can look at and you can be confused by, kind of scratching your head a little bit. Let the light bulb pop in your head, right? Let the light bulb pop in your head and realize maybe this is just an illusion. Sort of like life's an illusion, but no, not really. It's just your brain projecting its senses on the world that are just a bunch of atoms and, speed of light interacting, moving, and it's basal and level, doing all that kind of stuff. But in reality, no, it's not really an illusion when it depends on your description, right? I mean, it really depends on how you're really going to find yourself describing it, right? Because if life's an illusion, then an illusion is life. It's synonymous. So life is just life at that point. Life's an illusion, illusion is life, but life is an illusion, but life is exactly what it is. It's something that we're living. We're living life, so it doesn't really matter if it's an illusion because it is exactly what it is, and it's not going to be experienced any other way unless, say, I was a bug interacting differently. But they're generally avoiding the same things. They fall off the corner of the table. My hand falls off the corner of the table. If I slip if I cut off my hand and I throw it over the corner of the table, it's going to fall to the floor. If a little bug crawls to the corner of the table, he's going to climb down the side of the table or fall down the side of the table. It doesn't matter. It's going to happen the same way. They're interacting with the same boundaries. Obviously, there's cells and all those smaller chemistry works slightly differently, but they're functioning as a thing that creates the boundaries and the things that exist the way they exist. So existence exists a certain way. It doesn't. You don't make it up. That's the illusion. You're making up reality. That's an illusion more than anything. And the illusion that you have control over that, I guess, is something you can say is an illusion. Um, but yeah, that's an illusion. Illusion. It's an illusion, a delusion. What am I trying to say? What am I trying to say? Um, yeah, but it's not an illusion. You're deluded to think that's an illusion, I suppose I wanted to say. So anything, anyway, I guess, yeah, delusions of your mind, delusions thinking there's something beyond it, an illusion of perception, which is all we have, our mental state, anything we can perceive through, anything we can use. I mean, in many cases, you're just deluding yourself. It's an intentional, aware illusion that you're putting on yourself. A delusion can be an illusion. Um, Sort of like I mentioned before, the grandiosity of looking at the sunset over the sea or the mountain. You see all the clouds and the awestruck feeling that you see when you see the mountains and the lightning. I mean the clouds and the lightning, surround the mountain, or whatever you see, whatever grandiose, adventurous, epic, whatever you want to way describe, something beyond, beyond the sunset, beyond on the other side of the mountain, on the other end, on the, somewhere over the rainbow, right? Somewhere over the rainbow. What's over the rainbow? something else. And, there's more road. I mean, you go on the other side of the rainbow and you're going to see, okay, I walked, okay, the rainbow is going overhead. Okay, I look around, okay, I'm on road, okay, I'm on the other side of the rainbow. Hmm. Oh, what's on the other side of the rainbow? Let's see what's on the other side of the rainbow now. I was just on the other side of the rainbow. Let's see what's on the other side of the rainbow where I was just at. And that's a very good analogy for existence. You're just going back and forth, kind of expecting something different. I guess insanity is, I guess you just do the same thing over and over again. Let's go to see if there's a leprechaun's gold on one end of the rainbow. Let's go to the other ends of the rainbow. Let's not go to the other side. Let's go on the x-axis rather than the y-axis, or the y-axis. Let's go on the axis where we're going along the straight line of the rainbow. Let's see if there's any leprechaun's gold on this side. Okay, none on this side. You're not going to find anything. You're just going to find nothing much. I mean, the closer you get to a rainbow anyway, you're not going to see it as maybe thoroughly as you would if you were far away, because it's further away and you can see the distinctions a little more thoroughly because they're further away. So like you get up close, it's a little blurry, and you look far away, they can be a little more clear. So yeah, it's all kind of an illusion. It's all kind of a trick you're playing on yourself. You're not really doing much. You're kind of just playing games with your mind. I guess I'm just going to talk to you like a parent talking to their kid. Just nothing much you can do. I'm going to give you a little life lesson, I guess. Let me bend over and let me spank you. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. Illusions, the crap of being fooled by reality, thinking you can make up reality, even though you know reality works a certain way. It only takes putting like I've mentioned before, putting the knife up to your throat before you realize just how bad life can be. There's no longer an illusion at that point, right? It's an illusion, but it's an illusion it's a consistent illusion, and it's life's synonymous illusion. You're living life, so it doesn't matter the description you give it. It is what it is, and it doesn't matter what you call it. You're existing in it, and it's no longer an illusion in any way that you're talking subjectively. Well, it's all just an illusion. What's subjective as well? No. Let's see how subjective it is. Well, let's see how subjective. Oh yeah, you're getting a knife, you're getting your head cut off. Hair in my mouth. Okay, obviously it's subjective because we don't have the exact same experience. But not having the exact same experience is the openness of existence. That's how it's going to work. Things are going to happen exactly the same way, but they're happening a certain way, and even though you react to the pain more in this circumstance than this circumstance, you're not going to feel the exact same thing. That's how reality functions. It's not exactly the same thing. Life in and of itself is one thing, though, and it's existing in all these pieces moving together. And it doesn't matter if it's now, then, here, now, now, then, in the future, or if it's here, over there. It's still existing in the same function. It's still existing in the same reality. In a way, you can say that means that it's all the same thing, but it's not. There's distinctions. There's little pieces like the cells in our body. There's little things that create the whole. It doesn't mean the whole is less than the sum of its parts. In many cases, it's greater because it creates a feeling thing. It's greater than the sum of its parts. So yes, greater than the sum of its parts. Yes, it's greater than the sum of its parts. But just because it's not happening the same way. Oh, I'm always on the verge of forgetting something. I hate that. It sucks. It always makes me want to give up making videos. Please don't punish me. Anyway, yeah, subjective. Just because it's not happening the exact same way doesn't mean it's objective. It just means it's happening a different way. Just because you react more to getting your head chopped off or burning alive doesn't mean it's objectively or subjectively objective, objectively subjective. Whatever term you want to use to make any sort of frivolous, pointless distinction doesn't mean anything. It exists as a function. Your head getting cut off exists. Well, I call my head getting cut off my head being put back on. It doesn't matter. Your head's cut off. It doesn't matter how you describe it. It's reality shows itself, like I mentioned before. And it doesn't matter. Same thing with just because it's not happening the same way doesn't mean it's not objective. Just because you react differently doesn't mean it's subjective. It's happening in existence a certain way. Just because it doesn't happen the same way doesn't mean it's objective. It just means it's happening a different way, objectively. Just because it's happening a different way doesn't mean it's subjective. It just means it's happening a different way, objectively. It's not subjective, it's objective. So I guess that's a good way of saying it. It doesn't mean it's subjective. Um, just because it happens a different way doesn't mean it's subjective. It just means it's subjectively happening a different way. See, that's another brilliantism, right? That means something. It gets the point across in a clever little riddle kind of way. Yeah, so I went over my time limit again. So yeah, all it takes is putting up the knife. We'll see how much a knife, being your head getting cut off, is subjective. Oh, I'm not gonna feel any pain. Well, just because you implied that from seeing someone else, I didn't feel any pain, even though I mentioned this before. You're gonna feel some pain. Trust me, the pain is pretty objective. The pain part is objective. How much you feel, well, we can question that, but you're feeling some pain. Trust me. It doesn't take much. It won't take much. Trust me. It only takes your personal experience, your direct personal experience, your own body feeling some kind of suffering before you can concede to the point that it takes some suffering before you realize this, and you can no longer really deny it once it's right so overtly in your face. And I think even though they're kind of disconnected, it can help you realize these things. So yeah, even though I went over my time again, I'm probably gonna get an F or something on this thing where it's under 10 minutes, and it's gonna be so much. I'm making videos for nearly 3 hours now. Holy crap. Anyway, yeah, so yeah. Anyway, that's all I need to say, I guess. Illusions, delusions, all kind of silly. Doesn't change the fact that it's reality, and doesn't matter how you describe it or how you perceive it or how you delude yourself. It's exactly what it is. It's not just because it's happening different doesn't mean it's subjective. It just means it's objectively happening different. There you go. That's all I need to say. So thank you, and until next time. Bye.